During the car accident, my amnesiac alpha husband shielded me with his body, suffering a severe blow to the head. Before he regained consciousness, the doctor informed me, Mr. Fu has experienced a fortunate turn of events. He is likely to recover his memory in approximately a month. After a moment of contemplation, I inquired, Doctor, could we possibly administer another blow to his head, allowing him to remain forgetful? 1. Upon hearing the news that Fu Yi might regain his memory, my mind went numb, and a deafening roar filled my right ear. Regain memory? Wasn't it previously stated that recovery was nearly impossible? The doctor perused the medical records in his hands. Mr. Fu has made remarkable progress over the past 3 years, and with this recent stimulus it can be seen as a blessing in disguise. He likely could not fathom why the prospect of Fu Yi regaining his memory, which should be a cause for celebration, elicited such a look of terror from me. Our marriage was built on deceit. I had tricked the amnesiac alpha into believing we were a loving couple on the verge of obtaining a marriage certificate, when in reality, he harbored a deep loathing for me. I inhaled deeply and asked, Doctor, is there any way to ensure he remains forgetful? The doctor cast me a peculiar glance. I hastily clarified, my husband had an unhappy childhood. I do not wish for him to remember. Even if that's not possible, is there a way to delay it? Perhaps another blow to the head? The doctor's expression remained odd. Typically, amnesiac patients yearn for immediate recovery, and I was the first to wish otherwise. He spoke with gravity. Mr. Shi, we cannot do that. I sighed, my gaze drifting through the glass window to the figure in the hospital room. The alpha lay quietly on the bed, a bandage wrapped around his forehead, dark hair tousled across the pillow. Even in his unconscious state, his chiseled features remained irresistibly captivating. I had been enamored by that handsome face back in college. After some inquiries, I discovered Fu Yi's family circumstances were dire. He had been working in a bar to earn a living. His alpha father was abusive, his omega mother unemployed, and he had a younger brother suffering from glandular cancer. A picture emerged. A violent father, a timid mother, a sickly brother, and a pitiable Fu Yi. My friend, Chunyi Chen, remarked, Young Master Shi, he's in such dire need of money. Why not just offer him some and take him under your wing? I thought it a splendid idea. Thus, that very evening, I went to the bar and ordered him. I boldly declared, Fu Yi, come with me, and I shall indulge you. To my astonishment, he coldly rejected me, insisting, I won T-cell myself. Enraged, I seized his collar. What are you pretending for? My desire to support you is a compliment. Do you think so little of yourself? Fu Yi bowed his head in silence. When had I ever been so blatantly disregarded? Captivated by his alluring visage, I pressed my lips to his. The scent of strawberries wafted from my glands. I had devised a plan. If he refused, I would find a way to draw out his receptive period. I, Shi Lin, would obtain whatever I desired. Yet the moment our lips met, Fu Yi stiffened. I believed I had him under my spell, reveling in my triumph. However, he abruptly pushed me away and rushed to the trash can. Retching. I was incredulous. Surely, even if he refused, he wouldn't find me that repulsive, would he? 2. A disastrous beginning foretold a calamitous conclusion. That night, I slipped a drug into his drink. Even though he found me repugnant, we ultimately consummated our relationship. Upon awakening the next day, Fu Yi's body was covered in red rashes. I took him to the hospital for an examination, only to learn that our pheromone compatibility was a mere 2, and Fu Yi was allergic to my pheromones. It should be noted that the normal AO pheromone compatibility ranges from 40 to 60. A compatibility above 60 signifies an innate attraction, while a score below 40 renders any mutual affection nearly impossible. The state even discourages such couples from marrying, as the chances of conception are lower than those of beta pairs. Initially, I refused to believe it. How could love at first sight result in such a low pheromone compatibility? However, after repeated tests, the results remained consistent. Suddenly, a frantic voice jolted me back to reality. How is my son? Is he all right? I looked up to see Fu Yi's mother standing at the door of the ward, her eyes red-rimmed. Yes, fine. The doctor said he will wake up soon. Fu Yi's mother sighed in relief, slowly sinking onto a bench while muttering, That's good. That's good. I nearly had a heart attack. With Fu Si gone, if anything were to happen to Fu Yi, how could I possibly go on? Why did another accident occur? Why can't you all be more careful? I was on edge the entire way here, fearing another misfortune. Her face was etched with worry, and the more she spoke, the more distressed she became. I awkwardly attempted to console her. Please don't worry. The doctor mentioned he may benefit from this misfortune and regain his memory. Really? Fu Yi's mother suddenly lifted her head, her murky eyes sparkling with hope. I nodded. 3 years ago, Fu Si had passed away. Fu Yi and I had been in a car accident on our way to the hospital. My right ear had suffered damage, and Fu Yi had lost his memory. The series of calamities that befell her children had taken a tremendous toll on Fu Yi's mother's mental state. Though she finally mustered the courage to divorce that abusive alpha due to her grief, she seemed utterly hollow. The air fell silent for a moment. Fu Yi's mother pressed her lips together. Xiao Lin, if Fu Yi regains his memory, will you let him go? I frowned, looking at her. Fu Yi's mother quickly clarified, that's not what I meant. Her fingers fidgeted nervously on her knee. What I meant to say is that I hope you can give him a chance. Over the years, thanks to you, Fu Si managed to hold on until that day, and I am profoundly grateful. I instinctively reached for the cigarettes in my pocket, only to recall Fu Yi's warning glare. My fingers fumbled for a moment before returning to my side. Fu Yi's mother couldn't meet my gaze. As a mother, I feel an immense guilt towards him. I simply wish for him to have the freedom to choose once he regains his memory. What if he doesn't like you? My heart felt as though it had been cruelly pierced by her words. In truth, there was no what if. I knew better than anyone that Fu Yi would likely despise me even more upon regaining his memory. What would he say? By his nature, he would probably demand a divorce outright. Fu Yi's mother's voice grew softer. And I hope he finds an omega or beta with a higher pheromone compatibility. Someone with whom he can have a child and live a simple, ordinary life. She spoke carefully, as if afraid of provoking me. Even though I had been married to Fu Yi for 3 years, she still viewed me as the pampered scion of a wealthy family, believing that if I were to turn against Fu Yi, both she and her son would be left to face the consequences. And indeed, I did possess the temperament of a wealthy heir, often failing to endear myself to the elderly. In 3 years, our conversations had been few. Yet today, she spoke so much for Fu Yi's sake, merely wishing for her son's happiness. What reason did I have to refuse? Very well, once he regains his memory, I shall leave. 3. Fu Yi's mother grasped my hand, repeatedly expressing her gratitude. I forced a smile. There is no need to thank me. At that moment, Fu Yi's eyelashes fluttered in the hospital room. Fu Yi's mother and I simultaneously rose and hurried into the room. Lin, are you all right? Are you hurt anywhere? The first words that escaped Fu Yi's lips upon waking were concerned for my well-being. Had it been any other time, I would have planted a kiss on his face, nestled into his embrace, and playfully complained about my ailments. Yet, for reasons unknown, I felt a pang of sorrow in my heart, rendering me speechless. Me fine. I'll go call the doctor. After the doctor examined him, we were informed that everything was fine, and he could be discharged. Fu Yi's mother bombarded her son with questions until she was assured that apart from the head trauma, he was in good health, allowing her to finally relax. Fu Yi and I returned home. Just as we entered, my phone rang. It was my friend Chani Chen. How are you and Fu Yi doing? You got into an accident and didn't he even tell me? I only found out after the engagement banquet. I'm sorry you missed such an important occasion. Chani Chen's tone was one of resignation. Am I really upset that you weren't there? Are you both all right? I replied, we're fine, just Fu Yi's head. Chani Chen keenly interrupted. Really? Why does it seem like something's off in your tone? It's a bit strange. How about I come to see you tonight? I chuckled. What do you want to see me for? To not be with your husband? Before I could finish, Fu Yi abruptly snatched my phone away and hung up in displeasure. I was startled. What's wrong? His eyes were tinged with red as he removed the suppressor ring and hurriedly leaned in to kiss me. A wave of fur-scented pheromones inundated me. His sensitive period had begun prematurely. Fu Yi was a top alpha, and during his sensitive phase he could be quite ferocious. Though I too was a top omega, our pheromone compatibility was woefully low, rendering me incapable of effectively soothing him. He latched onto my nape, attempting to inject his pheromones. Yet, the fur scent dissipated within mere minutes. He bit down harder, striving to leave his mark upon me. I released my own pheromones, enveloping him. Despite 3 years of treatment, he was no longer allergic to my pheromones, but our innate low compatibility made my efforts feel like a drop in the ocean. He anxiously gripped my waist, seeking solace by burrowing deeper into me. Why were you on the phone with Chani Chen for so long? Fu Yi inquired, his actions betraying his jealousy. Oddly, I felt a flicker of pleasure in my heart, breathlessly responding, because I kind of miss him. He struck my waist forcefully, commanding, You can only think of me. In the next moment, my consciousness soared high before plummeting back down. Soon, no one would have expected what was to come. 7 days later, Fu Yi's sensitive period came to an end. I calculated the days. He had only 23 days left until he regained his memory. For a full week, we barely left the bed. I lamented, running my fingers through my hair, realizing I had squandered a quarter of our time. Patience was indeed a virtue. On the 23rd of this month, Chani-chen would marry his boyfriend, and on the 28th it would be Fu Yi's birthday. Chani-chen's boyfriend was a foreign alpha, and they planned to settle abroad after marriage. I secretly plotted that after celebrating Fu Yi's birthday, I would fly directly overseas to find Chani-chen. Rather than being abandoned by Fu Yi, I would rather depart gracefully. After all, what was one alpha? There were suitors who once circled the globe just to pursue me. Why should I hang myself on a single tree? Lin, dinner's ready, Fu Yi called from the kitchen. I sluggishly made my way to the living room and glanced at the table laden with dishes. Sweet and sour ribs, steamed base, and winter melon soup with ribs. He had even thoughtfully scooped the soup into a small bowl for me, meticulously removing the fish bones. Sigh. No one knew my preferences better than Fu Yi. Where could I find an alpha who could cook better than him? With that thought, the food before me suddenly lost its flavor. Fu Yi's phone screen lit up unexpectedly. He glanced at it, frowning slightly. I paused my chopsticks. What is wrong? My mom. Fu Yi hesitated for a few seconds, then pushed the phone toward me. She sent me several photos of omegas, asking which type I prefer. That old lady was quick on the draw. Even before Fu Yi's memory returned, she was eager to find him a new partner. Though I cursed her inwardly, I quickly deflated. She was merely a pitiable mother wanting the best for her son. I replied sullenly, "Oh, which one do you like?" He gently pinched my cheek. "I like the one right in front of me." "Humph, at least you know what's good." I turned my face away. "If you dare to like another omega, I will vanish from your sight forever," I retorted, feigning a fierce demeanor, though my heart trembled with insecurity. Surely, he would prefer a cute and understanding omega rather than a spoiled and capricious one like me. I remembered in college, I had secretly inquired about his preferences. His roommate mentioned that Fu Yi had once said he liked cute omegas. Suddenly, Fu Yi raised his right hand in a vow. "I will absolutely never like anyone else, regardless of their gender, or else heaven will strike me down." I hastily grabbed his hand. "Oh, why are you swearing? That is so childish, never mind." To shift the topic, I suggested, "I remember you have no classes today. Come with me to pick out a gift. Chun-Yi-chen's wedding is just around the corner." Fu Yi nodded, and we made our way to a nearby mall. Along the way, he couldn't help but grumble. "How many times have we bought gifts for him? I have no idea what else to give. But it's good that he is getting married. At least he won't pester you every day." Chun-Yi-chen was an alpha, but he was gay. Although the law did not recognize same-sex marriages, he insisted on holding a wedding with his boyfriend. Fu Yi and I had been married for 3 years, and this would be Chun-Yi-chen's third wedding. The first 2 ended due to infidelity with omegas. I sighed. I hope this one lasts. Is the pheromone compatibility really that crucial between AOs? Fu Yi frowned. Chun-Yi-chen shouldn't be this way. He and that alpha are not suited for each other. My breath caught and I clenched my fists. Did Fu Yi also believe pheromone compatibility was important? Did he secretly long for an omega with higher compatibility? Feigning nonchalance, I shrugged and dodged the topic. It's already the 25th century. Who is still shackled by pheromones? Quickly help me choose a gift for him. That store, he likes that brand. Let us go take a look. Fu Yi nodded in agreement. I'll wander around elsewhere. With that, I slipped away into another store. I had long had my eye on a Patek Philippe watch, longing to purchase it as a birthday gift for Fu Yi. In the previous 2 years, I had refrained from spending more than 100,000, considering his pride. Now that I was leaving, I would consider it a parting gift. I swiftly paid with my card, planning to pick up a new car from home. Humph, even if he finds a new flame later, he could never match my generosity. After securing the purchase, I exited the store to find him. Fu Yi was outside on the phone. "Mom, what is going on with you lately? I don't like any of those omegas. Stop trying to set me up. I have a good relationship with Lin. I only love him." I quietly retreated back into the store, pretending to linger at the counter until he hung up. "Did you buy everything?" Fu Yi lifted the bag in his hand. "Yes." "Carry me back. I can't walk anymore." For some reason, even though we hadn't walked far, I suddenly felt utterly lethargic and just wanted to be close to Fu Yi. Fu Yi chuckled softly, crouching down before me. I climbed onto his back, inhaling deeply as the subtle fur scent flooded my senses, relaxing every fiber of my being. How wonderful it would be if this could last forever.
Fui walked steadily,
carefully placing me in the back seat of the car. I found myself dozing off in a haze. In my dreams, Fui regained his memory on the 30th, but I hadn't yet departed. He cast a frigid glance in my direction, devoid of any emotion in his eyes. "Shilin, you truly have no shame," he exclaimed, "to take advantage of my amnesia and deceive me into marrying you. Let us get a divorce. I no longer wish to see you." Fui. I awoke with a start, gasping for breath. "Please don't dislike me, I implore you." The car had already halted at our doorstep, and Fui opened the rear door, preparing to carry me inside. Clinging to his neck in trepidation, he lifted me up, patting my back gently, soothing me. "Did you have a nightmare? It's all a lie. How could Fui ever dislike you? You are my favorite." My mind was in a haze, struggling to discern reality from the dream, as he cradled me and carried me to bed. Fui placed a tender kiss on my forehead. "Are you tired? Sleep for a while. I'll wake you for dinner." I drifted back into slumber. When I awakened again, I found myself curled up in the wardrobe, enveloped in a pile of Fui's clothes. Blinking in confusion, I momentarily struggled to recall how I had ended up there. Normally, due to a lack of pheromone compatibility, I had never engaged in such nesting behavior. Could it be that the thought of leaving had made even his pheromones irresistibly enticing? A sudden realization struck me. After departing, should I wash away the lifelong mark? My mind was a whirlwind as I stumbled out of the wardrobe, only to discover the living room was empty. My phone lit up with a message from Fui. "There's an impromptu meeting at school regarding the students' final papers. Dinner is ready. It's in the fridge. Just heat it up. Message me when you wake up." I replied, warmed the food, yet after a few bites, my appetite vanished. During the final month of the semester, Fui was invariably busy. Many times, by the time he returned home, I had already succumbed to sleep on the sofa. However, on the 15th day, he managed to carve out an entire day to accompany me to Chani-chen's wedding. We sat among the guests, watching the two alphas exchange rings on stage. "Lin, once this final month passes, let us hold another wedding," he suddenly proposed, locking his gaze onto mine. My heart skipped a beat as my profile fell into his line of sight. "Why bring this up so suddenly? You seem so captivated today, Lin. Our previous wedding was too simple. I don't want you to feel deprived." Indeed, our wedding had been rather modest, attended only by our parents and a few close friends, as I feared that too many people might inadvertently unveil the truth. "Let it go, it's merely a ceremony," I remarked, taking a sip of wine and glancing at the couple embracing on stage. The air was filled with resounding applause and cheers. I murmured, "Those in love need not extra ceremonies. Yet, if love is absent, all efforts are in vain. A forced fruit is never sweet." Fui's brow furrowed slightly. "Why have you been saying such things lately? Perhaps it's the wisdom that comes with age." I forced a smile, downing my drink in one go. As the wedding concluded, days passed, drawing ever closer to the time when Fui would regain his memories. During this period, Fui's mother called me several times, anxious that I might change my mind and continue to monopolize her son. To reassure her, I foolishly remarked, "No matter how good Fui is, after 3 years one grows weary. Rest assured, if he comes back to me after regaining his memory, I wouldn't want him anyway." Fui seemed to sense my unease, sending me numerous messages each night, urging me to rest early and not wait for him. I replied in agreement, yet in reality I spent sleepless nights. Stealthily, I clutched my phone, searching for risks of mark removal surgery, and asked Chani-chen to help me contact foreign hospitals. When Fui finally opened the door, I quickly hid under the covers, pretending to be asleep. On the day of Fui's birthday, I prepared a lavish spread, hoping he would return early. He knew well that every year, I would prepare gifts for him at this time. Around noon, he messaged me, "Wife, I've swapped my classes with another teacher for tonight. I'll definitely be home early." I responded with a satisfied approved sticker. Yet, as the clock struck 9 in the evening, Fui had yet to arrive. Bored, I even printed out the divorce agreement and packed half my belongings. I sent him several messages, but still received no reply. An ominous feeling washed over me, compelling me to dial his number. A woman answered, her voice filled with urgency. "Are you a family member of Teacher Fu?" He suddenly collapsed, And we are at the city center hospital. My mind went blank, and I grabbed my keys, rushing out. Upon arriving at the hospital, I found several teachers gathered around the ward. A bespectacled female beta approached me. "You've finally arrived." The doctor said Teacher Fu's brain hemorrhage has been absorbed. Once he wakes up, he will regain his memory. Has he experienced amnesia before? Hearing that Fu Yi had not yet awakened, I felt an unexpected relief. Yes, he has. Thank you for being here. The female beta waved her hand dismissively. It's nothing. You must be his Omega. He mentioned swapping classes today to come home early to be with you. It's unfortunate that this incident occurred. You must be very affectionate. I nodded slowly. Yes. Fu Yi's fingers twitched suddenly. Please take care of him. I have something urgent to attend to. My heart skipped a beat, and in my panic, I hastily left a message before fleeing the hospital. Returning home, I placed the gifts and divorce agreement conspicuously on the table. The pen hovered over the paper for a long while before finally inscribing a single line. Happy birthday. I'm sorry for deceiving you for 3 years. Dragging my suitcase, I took a taxi to my parents' residence. As I hadn't booked a flight in advance, I couldn't leave immediately, so I resolved to take a private jet the next day. My two fathers were taken aback upon seeing me. What's wrong? Did you have a fight with Fu Yi? I shook my head. Dad, I want to take over the overseas branch. I'll leave tomorrow. My Omega father inquired. Does Fu Yi know? We're divorced. My Alpha father slammed the table in shock. What? He dared to mention divorce. They were both well aware of my past arrangement with Fu Yi. They had not intervened, even facilitating my connections to transfer Fu Yi to the best hospital. To them, as long as it was what I desired, I deserved it all. No, it was I who proposed the divorce. The Alpha father immediately shifted his stance. Good riddance. What kind of person wouldn't he want your son? His loss in divorcing you. It's also good to go abroad and refresh your mind. They promptly arranged a flight for me the next day, and I flew overseas. After disembarking, I switched on my phone, which had been turned off. The pinned messages from husband were overflowing with notifications. My finger hesitated over the delete button for 3 seconds before decisively erasing all his contact information. When Chani Chen came to pick me up, she gleefully waved her phone. The top scholar just called my phone. He was in such a rush. If he regains his memory, perhaps he'll still like you? I've seen how well he treated you over the years. You didn't tell him where I am, did you? My only concern was this. Chani Chen made a sealing gesture. Of course, I told him I didn't know and was looking for you. I breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. I'm certain he could never harbor feelings for me. Throughout the entirety of 8 years, from his sophomore year to the completion of his doctorate, he has never uttered a single word of affection towards me. If it weren't for monetary gain, he would have likely departed long ago. Ultimately, this is all your fault. If you hadn't urged me to lace his drink with that substance, he wouldn't despise me so. Young Master Shi, how could you place the blame on me? Upon seeing my reddened eyes and choked voice, he quickly amended his statement. Oh, fine. It's all my fault. My fault. I shouldn't have let you administer the drug. Who would have guessed that a mere bartender would turn out to be such a paragon of virtue? Forget it. Brother, let me take you out for some fun. Just as I had settled my luggage, Chani Chen whisked me away to a bar. He ordered several male models who bore a striking resemblance to Fu Yi. Give these a try. Their pheromones are quite similar to Fu Yi's. A familiar scent of fur enveloped me. Their compatibility with my pheromones exceeded that of Fu Yi, each one vying to elicit a response from me. However, since I had been thoroughly marked, I felt nothing but nausea. I waved them off. Chani Chen hurriedly supported me. Shilin, are you unwell? Yes. I still carry Fu Yi's mark. I cannot tolerate anyone else's scent. Chani Chen slapped his forehead in frustration. Damn it, I completely forgot. I've already located the hospitals you asked about previously. If you wish to cleanse the mark, you can do so anytime. But are you certain you want to wash it away? Perhaps I was reluctant to sever my last ties with Fu Yi. The prospect of removing the mark seemed easy to agree to verbally, yet I had stood up 3 hospitals. Chani Chen finally lost his patience. If you don't want to wash it away, so be it. We can at least have them wear suppression rings while keeping you company. As long as you don't remarry, I'm fine. His words struck a nerve. How could a true Omega falter over such trivial matters? At last, I scheduled an appointment with a doctor in the 3rd week. Yet, as I approached the hospital entrance, regret washed over me. Chani Chen, exasperated, remarked, since we're here, at least get checked out, we'll decide on the wash afterward. To everyone's astonishment, the examination results left us all speechless. Congratulations, you are 8 weeks pregnant. The doctor adjusted his glasses. The fetus is developing splendidly. However, you cannot wash the mark during pregnancy. I sat there in the consultation room, absently tracing my flat abdomen with my fingers. It showed no signs of abnormality. It must have been during that period of heightened sensitivity. No wonder, since then, I had become acutely sensitive to Fuyi's pheromones and occasionally felt nauseous. Even more astonishing was the fact that I had been drinking and partying with Chun-Chen daily, yet the baby remained remarkably healthy. The issue of cleansing the mark transformed into, to keep the child or not. I found myself asking Chun-Chen, what do you think? Should I keep it? Chun-Chen closed his eyes in resignation. Don't ask me again. If I say to terminate, would you truly have the heart to do it? Deep down, you already know the answer. You were merely waiting for me to utter the words, keep it. I had never envisioned myself in this situation. After all, our pheromone compatibility was exceedingly low, and the doctor had previously stated that natural conception was nearly impossible. Yet now, this little life existed against all odds. Chun-Chen drove me home. Along the way, he seemed transformed, incessantly advising me. You must refrain from alcohol from now on. Pregnant omegas without an alpha nearby face greater risks. We should arrange to procure some artificial pheromones. Hey, are you even listening? Chun-Chen waved his hand in front of my face. If this child is born, what about Fuyi? He will never find out. I interrupted, my tone clipped. I have severed all ties with him. Chun-Chen sighed, choosing not to press further. The car slowly entered the villa community, and I trudged toward my front door. Suddenly, I heard a familiar set of footsteps behind me. Lin. His deep voice made me freeze in place. I finally found you. A pair of arms encircled my waist from behind. It was Fuyi. His voice was hoarse, and the scent of fur pheromones enveloped me, both powerful and gentle. How did you find this place? I inquired with your Omega father. He tightened his embrace, holding me firmly. How could it be? How could my father have divulged that information? I clenched my teeth, striving to sound indifferent. Let go. We are divorced. Divorced? Fuyi chuckled softly. I never signed. It doesn't count. You! I was at a loss for words, struggling to turn around, only to meet his reddened gaze. He had lost considerable weight. His jawline appeared sharper, and faint shadows lingered beneath his eyes. I bit my lip, turning my face away. You know I deceived you. Yes, I recall. He raised a hand to caress my cheek, his fingertips cool against my skin. I remember how you coerced me, how you threatened me, and how you took advantage of my amnesia to trick me into marriage. I pushed him away forcefully. Then why are you here? What do you want? To disgust me? Before he could finish, a wave of nausea surged in my throat. I swiftly covered my mouth, shoving him away as I doubled over in dry heaves. Fuyi's expression shifted dramatically as he caught me. What's wrong? Where do you feel unwell? I gasped, shaking my head, but his gaze slowly drifted downward, landing on my abdomen, his pupils contracting sharply. You're pregnant? The air thickened with tension. How could he have guessed? Fuyi's hand rested on my abdomen. His voice taut. Is it true? After a moment of paralysis, I managed to utter, it's none of your business. He inhaled deeply, suddenly bending down to scoop me up, striding into the house. Fuyi, put me down. I struggled, pounding his shoulder, but he set me gently on the sofa. Lin. He poured a glass of warm water and placed it in my hands, locking eyes with me as he spoke deliberately. We need to talk. What is there to discuss? I gripped the cup tightly. Haven't you regained your memory? Don't you despise me? Fuyi closed his eyes briefly, his throat working. When did I ever say I hated you? Yet, you never expressed any affection for me either, and throughout those 8 years before our marriage. Every time you were in a sensitive period, you chose to endure rather than touch me, which is why I resorted to the drug. Isn't that hatred? I was afraid of hurting you. He smiled wryly. An uncontrollable alpha during a sensitive period poses significant danger to an omega with a mere 2 compatibility. You should understand that. I was taken aback. As for why I never said I loved you, his voice softened. It was because I feared you would leave me. Isn't it the greatest taboo for a canary to fall for its benefactor? At that time, I believed you were merely toying with me. There were so many alphas in university who liked you, and I had nothing to offer. How could I dare believe you were genuinely fond of me? I mumbled softly, there are no canaries as large as you. Fuyi suddenly laughed. Did you not say back then that you would support me? If I am not a canary, then what am I? Reflecting on our encounter, It had indeed been a disastrous affair. Such domineering declarations were ill-suited for me. It was all Chun-Yi-chen's fault. But your roommate told me you preferred adorable omegas. I crossed my arms, indignantly retorting. How do you explain that? Fu-Yi cupped my face in his hands and said, Lin, the omega I referred to is you. In the bar, the moment I laid eyes on you, I was struck by the sheer adorableness of such an omega existing in this world. Standing before me, you resembled a delicate little prince, exuding an irresistible charm with every gesture. I felt a profound disparity between us, convinced that I was unworthy of your presence. Thus, I resolved to strive harder, to exert myself further, until the day I could stand alongside you. Then, I would confess my love for you, though I never anticipated such a fateful accident of amnesia. I reluctantly accepted his explanation, finishing the water in my glass and habitually commanding him, please refill my cup. Fu-Yi returned with the glass of water, placing it on the coffee table before me. He seated himself beside me and inquired, did my mother reach out to you before, saying anything inappropriate? I took a sip of water, feigning nonchalance as I shrugged, it's nothing. She merely cares for you. Fu-Yi took my hand in his, after regaining my memory. She called me, expressing some thoughts about you, for which I am sincerely sorry. I told her that in this lifetime, there will be but one person for me, and whether or not my memory returns, that will never change. I felt a warmth pooling in my eyes, a subtle mist rising before me.
Fu-Yi continued, Lin.
I am aware she has said many hurtful things to you, even leading you to believe I might abandon you upon recovering my memories. But I want you to know that regardless of my amnesia, my choice has always been you. I lowered my gaze. She is your mother. I can understand. Fu-Yi interrupted, yet you are my beloved. I wish for her to respect my choice, rather than interfere in our lives with her opinions. I melted into his embrace. Indeed, the following morning, when Chun-Yi-chen unlocked my front door, he and Fu-Yi exchanged bewildered glances. What brings you here? How do you have a key? They spoke almost in unison. Chun-Yi-chen squeezed inside to glance at me, then at Fu-Yi. You two haven't reconciled, have you? I nodded. Fu-Yi's expression darkened. AO is different. You needn't come here anymore. I will take care of Lin. What about your previous fiancé? Isn't he jealous? We parted ways 2 weeks ago. I was taken aback. What happened? Chun-Yi-chen rolled his eyes. Don't even mention it. He now realizes he prefers Os. Fu-Yi, seemingly unfazed, replied calmly. You shouldn't constantly seek partners at bars. My relationship with Lin has no inherent connection to my job at the bar. Chun-Yi-chen nodded thoughtfully. So, when you previously mentioned it was inappropriate, that was what you meant. Fu-Yi paused, then replied, yes, what did you think it meant? Nothing. It turned out that all the disdain and aversion I felt were mere figments of my imagination. I had already grasped the essence of Fu-Yi's character. Even a forcibly obtained fruit can be sweet. The end. Thank you for listening. Until next time, farewell.